Today's good neighbor is a businessman who is a longtime community supporter, Mark Sathe, founder of the Sathe Executive Search. Mark recently sponsored the construction of a new workshop and vocational training center for the blind in Cam Lo, Vietnam, the former DMZ, where hundreds of Vietnamese have been blinded by landmines. This project was part of the Dove Fund, a group of former Marines who have volunteered their services to help the Vietnamese people.
Vietnam was kind of the centerpiece of the years I was growing up and involved in thinking for myself. What the Dove Fund is doing right now is what our government should have been doing 40 years ago. Now is a chance for us to be able to do something that you just know is right in the end. Is a nice finish to that chapter in my life. Jenny, that's my wife, she's totally in support of this, as am I and the rest of our family. Well within our means was to support this school and to help the visually impaired people in their area have more choices than just the factory.
Mark is on the board of directors of the Blind School in Fairville, Minnesota, and has been active all his life in this function, and he thought it'd be nice to have a legacy in Vietnam with a school for the blind there.
She is really happy to work here. This workshop and the school give her a new opportunity to learn, to work, to help her family. She thinks that everybody work here are very, very happy.
I'm so excited about this. In the Western world, visually impaired people, blind people, although there's still high unemployment, maybe 60–70% are unemployed, but there are many, many people that are making a great living for their family and are leaders in their fields.
We've been friendly competitors for years in the executive search business in Minneapolis, and I just told him we're going to miss him on the trip, and we were enthused to go and be part of the project, and that we would certainly report back to him what we saw.
Well, the Dove Fund is the reason that I came here, and the particular project was the Project for the Blind, which came both from Patty's knowledge of Mark Sathe, but also my mother-in-law is blind.
John and I became involved to help support blind students reaching their potential and perhaps having an opportunity to work toward greater dreams.
The real answer in the world seems to almost always be education-based, in my view. I often wondered if we sent more tractors and built more schools, would that help advance a culture, advance a people to compete on a world scale, more than sending in lots of soldiers and lots of airplanes.
It's just a building, probably maybe 4,500 square foot, that's going to be devoted to a workshop.
We're not limited by virtue of the fact that we're visually impaired. If you have other faculties that are working competitively and you're able to have some drive and willing to take some chances and work hard, there are other opportunities. I'm not taking anything away from the factory. I think that's a wonderful thing, and we'll have a new building in which to have the broom factory. That may be perfect for some people, but I wanted to have choices.
Well, Mark believes that if you can overcome your handicap, and he would like to have these people have the tools where they could, because he was able to overcome his handicap, and he'd like to see them have that same opportunity.
I'm missing the cones in the eyes, which are back in the retina, so it isn't like you can do an eye transplant. You'd have to transplant the whole head, and then you'd be somebody else, So, it's called Legally Blind of 2200. Frankly, it's all you need. I wouldn't want any less, but it's all you need.
And that's why we're kind of focusing on education of the blind, because only by education are you going to be able to assist. And I know that Mark Sathe, one of his ideas was that by education they could be the same as he, own their own companies, be entrepreneurs, be successful, equally successful with a sighted person.
The concern is the gentleman who funded the major thing is blind himself, and he is a successful businessman in the U.S. He's very concerned that the people who come to this school can learn Braille so they can have an equal success.
I want him to be able to say, maybe there's something else I'd rather do than work in the factory, and have those doors open to him.
We will have many more classes with the blind for the blind in near future.